What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Skuffed Cast, the podcast where the quality of it is literally in the name. Today, we have a very special guest, Mr. 𝗙𝗂𝗏. Welcome.
What's up, cuties? How you doing?
He has such a hot voice, dude. Such a hot voice. Dude.
So hot.
This is exactly how we started the last podcast.
What? Dude,
We said the same thing about Bumpkin's voice.
I'm sorry, bro. Okay, something about 𝗙𝗏𝗏. Like, the British accent is just a very nice accent to listen to.
Nah, I will
That's
agree.
true.
𝗙𝗏𝗏 does have a really nice accent. I'm really
Very
jealous of you, bro.
sleazy.
There are annoying British accents, and there are nice, smooth ones, and I think that 𝗙𝗏𝗏 is definitely on the smoother side.
𝗙𝗏𝗏, where are
I
you
feel
from?
bad for... Oh, yeah, where are you from? Like,
Kind
what
of
would
like
you refer to your
I'd,
accent as?
I'd say just the southwest of England.
So, like, what
Southwest.
is the nickname for that? Is that, like, Geordie? Like, what... You guys have nicknames for your accents,
I don't think
right?
my accent even has a nickname, to be honest.
It's the
just
𝗙𝗏𝗏
English?
accent. It's the
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the
𝗙𝗏𝗏
𝗙𝗏𝗏 accent, bro.
What is in your opinion, like, the ranking? What is the dumbest British accent that, like, you find the hardest?
Bro. I didn't want to be getting flamed out here in the comments by my UK boys.
No, come on.
But, like, for me, it's probably like... the... I think it's the Newcastle accent around that area. Just pretty much anywhere up north.
Is
it
that
gets,
like 𝗏𝗏𝗏?
Yeah.
Okay,
Will
yeah, I
and
agree
actually
with
has
that.
a pretty nice
Yep.
voice, but there's some really, really strong accents up north that you get, and you
Yeah,
just
where they're
think,
just like,
what
"Oi,
the-
mate, didgeridoo-boogity-boo."
Yeah.
Will and his accent kind of does get on my nerves. I'm not gonna lie. It's.
Wow, Kyle.
I'm
Wow,
sorry.
you got
I'm
beef
throwing
with
shots
Will and
out there, bro.
Kyle's got. Hey,
Dude, I
Will, if you
love.
watch this. Kyle wants to box.
Yeah, let's
Kyle
box
wants
in
to
the
box.
ring, bro. Let's do it.
I don't think Will and E's accent is that bad.
I don't
okay,
either, to be honest.
Is your accent the best, or do you think there's a better British accent than yours?
Nah, bro, mine's the best. I'm vibing out here.
Really?
I agree.
I'm not a big fan
would
of
vibe with-
also Scottish and Irish accents. A lot of people
yeah.
tend to say they like Irish accents, but I've never really
I don't.
understood that.
I don't.
don't
I
like
definitely don't
Irish.
like Scottish accents. I think they kind of sound whack.
It sounds very
What is a
electronic.
Scottish accent?
Shrek.
Yeah, think of Shrek.
Yeah, exactly.
What does Shrek sound like?
in me swamp? I don't know.
Oh,
What
oh.
are you doing in my swamp?
Oh, yeah, I know
It's
what you're
not
talking
good.
about.
Not. Yeah. I mean, it happens. Do you guys ever think about how weird it is that humans develop accents? Like how we all speak the same language, but we just speak it just slightly different enough.
Depending on where
I
you
wonder
live,
if
that
how-
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending what's your
Like
native
even if
language.
it's the same language in the same country, like North Americans have different accents than South Americans, and some states have their own accents. I don't understand how that works.
Yeah.
Like,
But
So
like,
wait.
why is that? What about why? Because if you really think about it, all that happened is that somewhere down the line, 𝗙𝗏𝗏 had a grandpa with a speech impediment, and then everyone in their town spoke the same way. Like that's really what happened. For every accent, someone just had a lisp, and they just adopted it. We're like, oh, this is ours.
That is
It's
really
honestly
weird to
really
think about.
interesting.
What do you guys think of like American accents? Like, is it weird or like?
that depends which one it is. Like which part of America.
Oh
wait,
yeah, true.
hold on. I'm confused. Who in here isn't American?
We're all
I am
American.
not.
You.
I'm
Oh,
not.
okay, it's just okay. Sorry, it sounded like you were talking about it from a perspective of someone who wasn't. Honestly, people in the UK get really kind of excited by American accents. Whenever there's like, I've literally probably only ever spoken to about 4 people in my entire life with an American accent in real life. That's because I'm from quite a kind of quiet countryside area. But even still, any people in the UK that come across someone who's like American, Australian, you name it, bro, it's just hype. And I think that's the same with British
Really?
people going over to America. It's just something
yeah.
different,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Like when
Dude,
I see a
I-
British accent, a guy with a British accent, like when I used to work at Kroger, which is a grocery store over here, there was a guy that came with a British accent, and like, I don't know, it was just weird to see, and I
got
fuck
turned on by a guy
dude,
with a
shut the
British
fuck
accent.
up, dude. I'm not gay, bro. Just
For
British
example-
accents, bro. They're cool.
Yo,
fall
let me
in
give
love
you an
with them.
example. When I was at VidCon last year with Gio and his dad and like my dad, we went to like this meetup thing, and my dad and Gio's dad were sitting at some bench while me and Gio were doing our thing, right? And all of these fans, like all the moms who brought their fans, or all their like daughters and sons who were like fans of the people that were at the meetup, started like swarming around Gio's dad because he had an Australian accent. They were like, "Wow, your accent's so cool. Can you say this?" Blah 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 blah. And it was just my dad was just sitting there
All
laughing.
right. So this raises a very important discussion. What is the best accent to get laid? Like, what is the best accent to get bitches?
Australian.
Hispanic.
Australian.
I'm gonna be honest. Australian. No,
Australian.
Australian is definitely the best one.
Probably Australia.
Girls go
Ugandan.
wild for Australian. And then I think British is second in America, bro. American girls be like, are you Harry Potter? Because you're going to sit there in my chamber of secrets. Like, you're going to get it.
That's facts.
Like-
I do think that like people in it would be the opposite. Like, Fainted, would you agree that it would be the opposite in like in
Oh, yeah. For sure. It's simple. It's just
like,
whatever's
over
rare,
more
isn't
for
it?
American people. Yeah.
People get hyped,
really.
baby.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
Do girls in the
So-
UK
so-
fuck with American accents?
Definitely.
Oh, hell
So, like,
yeah.
UK girls go a little crazy for a little American, a little burger. in there,
Do
you
they
know what I'm
prefer a
saying?
southern or a northern accent?
I'd say
Like a hey,
Bro, I feel like
something
southern accent would be really weird to someone in
yeah,
the UK.
I'd say northern.
Could you imagine going over to Fainted? You're like, gee, Willikers fainted this here submarine. Very thing.
It's just
They talk
it's just
so
good
fast.
conversation as well, to be honest. Because
Yeah,
obviously, naturally, people are interested. They're like, "Oh, this guy's got an American accent. He's probably got some cool stories about a country I don't know much about."
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, Fainted, you're just so interesting because you're just so lovable and you have a cool accent. you know?
Bruh. Thank you, baby.
Man, accents are weird. Now I'm going to be stuck on this all day.
Yeah, I kind of want to know the science now.
Yeah,
Really.
like how were they even developed in the first place? Like who was the
It
first
probably
person to
was
have an
from
accent?
like people who like. So I'm assuming the original human civilization, they all had like one language, right? Like all the cavemen or whatever, and then it started to split off and turned into like modern language. But I feel like Ryan said, at one point someone spoke a little bit differently, and then their kids spoke that way, and then their kids spoke that way, and it just kind of turned into like a giant national. It's just like the influence of people around you like start to make you talk differently. Like for example, that one American girl who got like something to like to the prince or something. You might know what I'm talking about.
Engaged to the prince, married to the prince.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and she went up. She started like developing like a British accent.
Has
Yeah,
she
'cause
actually?
you're around it all the time.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's,
bit.
I heard about that. Yeah.
I think it's really cool to me how like the human mind really has a way of making you believe things. You know
Of
what I mean?
adapting to its
Like,
surroundings.
Yeah, like, oh, everyone around me is British, so now I will have like the power of the human mind
And the thing
as
is, you
a
don't even
tool.
you don't even think about it.
You don't even
just
think
do
about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. If I went and lived in England with Fainted for 8 months, I would come back and be like, "Oi, mate, you want a crumpet?" And that's just weird how our minds.
I feel
our
like that would
minds
actually
work.
happen. Yeah. Like I feel like
It's weird how much the human mind can change things, and you don't even notice.
Dude, what I don't
subconscious.
understand is how does Benji not have an accent?
I always thought he was American when I first met him.
I did too.
Yeah, I did too. But
Same.
he's from Norway? Yeah, Norway. Don't they have accents though over there?
No, okay, because here's what it is. When you're not from the UK and the US are kind of the only countries that speak English first. So when you learn another language, if you're young when you learn it based upon what you're listening to, like who's teaching you. So if you think of, okay, what is every TV show? Most music, most rappers, most YouTubers. Like where Ben would have the most interaction
yeah,
with
I
English
guess-
was American stuff.
I guess we are in a time where it's just more accessible and you can like adapt off other people and get that
Energy.
Yeah.
accent.
English, I feel is like the new wave of. It's like the. I feel like English is going to be the biggest language. Like everybody in the future is going to speak English.
It is. It's right now. It's like the business language. Like
Yeah.
If
like,
you go to
wanna
Germany, like-
trade or something, then you have to know English to like trade.
for my company, the company that I work for, when we go to Germany, we don't know German, but everyone over there knows English. So everyone like speaks English in all of the like conferences and stuff because that is the business language. Like
I
you've
wonder
got
how
to
that
know
came to
English.
be.
Maybe it's just
wonder
we're
how
fucking
English
dumb
made
Americans and we
itself.
can't learn any other
No.
language.
No, it has nothing to do with us being dumb. It's who's in charge of the world. Think about it. What language has been in charge of the world for like the last 500 years?
English.
When the Romans were in charge, everybody could speak a little bit of fucking Italian or Greek. You know what I mean? Like it was whatever they were speaking down there. Because we've just been in charge. And before we were in charge for 200 years, England was in charge and they speak English. So
there's a lot of countries that speak English, whereas like
yeah.
Well, I don't know about a lot, but like there's a lot of countries that have English as one of their main languages. Like India, for example. India has like obviously Hindu, and then they have English as like their second main language. So like if you go to India, 99% of the people will speak fluent English.
I mean, you need to learn English to be able to like travel and stuff, and like like service
well, that's what
customers.
I'm saying. Like a lot of countries are English speaking, and it's just not that way with like not every country is gonna speak like Cambodian. That would just kind of be weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then why do schools always tell us we need to learn Spanish to be successful?
So
I mean, okay,
I guess.
I don't really know if they say that you need to learn Spanish to be successful, but they tell you that like learning another language will help. Obviously, you know.
True. Yeah.
It's something you can put on your resume, really.
Yeah.
Like,
some
I
schools
also know Spanish.
Some school
Do you
requires.
speak any other languages, Fainted?
Absolutely not. I tried taking French back in school and I got an E grade, so that was fun.
What's an E grade?
That's how I was in Spanish.
Basically, the way the grades work is it starts with the best being A star, then it goes A, B, C, D, E, F.
So like
and
us.
I got an E. Yeah, pretty much, bruh.
So for some reason we skip E. I don't know why we do that.
No, some schools have E and some schools have F. Like my old school had F, but my school that I moved to in 7th grade only had E's. But A star,
we used to have-
we don't have that.
We
It's
have
just
A
an
plus. But dude, my old school we used to have exclamation point. Like so basically like if you would get an A was a plus, a B was or an A was a plus plus, a B was a plus, a C was I can't really remember what a C was. And then like a D was an exclamation point and an F was a slash.
What?
Fuck? What?
Yeah. But
Another
like they didn't actually
language for
say it
letter
was
grades?
like they didn't actually say it was like A, B, C, D, whatever, like F or whatever. They just said like slash just meant needs improvement, which would basically meant you failed.
So the exclamation mark is like, oh, you're going downhill.
like
You need to
Yeah.
change this shit.
Right.
Yeah, I got
But it
a
was just
slash
kind
on
of
my math
weird.
test.
I've never seen any other school like have their own grading language.
It's like
It
Morse
is
code
really
in a
weird.
way.
I've never heard that.
Fainted, what was your least favorite thing about school?
Getting up early in the morning.
Same. That's literally mine. That is mine.
That's a big problem for me, buddy.
See, I thought
that was really it. Like that was where you were like the most unhappy.
Yeah, honestly, I'd say so. I thought school was pretty fun for the most part.
See, I like waking up early. I'm weird like that.
Ew,
I think
what's wrong with you,
my
bro?
least favorite part was like sitting in classes that I knew I was never going to use in my life, and like. You know, because listen, I was never gonna be a scientist, bro. I can promise you.
Yeah.
Me learning biology was a waste of taxpayer money because I did not pay attention. So like, it would be like sitting in classes that I didn't care about was just the worst for me. I couldn't do it.
Dude, I literally
When I was
slept
with
through high
Fainted.
school. I don't know how I graduated.
That's what
I'm
I
with
was doing
Fainted,
right now.
dude.
Thank
I
you, babe.
cannot stand getting up early. Like it's just.
But bro,
I go to bed and I'm like, I finally get to sleep and just relax. And then I get awoken at 7 a.m. and I'm just like, oh my god, and I have to like drag myself out of bed and it's just.
see, I thought waking up at like 6:30 was bad, but once I got an actual job, I started waking up at 4:30 a.m. and that shit, it's worse once you get an actual job.
I also wasn't very popular in high school, so I wonder sometimes if like I just didn't have fun because I didn't have friends. You know what I mean?
That's sad.
Like,
I can't believe
No,
you
not
wouldn't
in,
be
like,
popular
a-
though. That's crazy.
I used to be a little bitch.
You're fucking
like I
shy.
can't even lie. I definitely did not used to be as nice as I am now. I basically all that happened as I got older was you know the part of me in Flame Wars that used to just be me all the time. Like I didn't used to have like an off mode.
So he just gonna be constantly flaming.
Yeah, I was just like I deserved to not be popular, but like you know,
Dude, I don't want to be
wasn't.
popular. I feel like that would just be annoying.
Ooh,
I kind of just like hanging out in the background. I don't really like want to be the guy that everybody knows because that would just be annoying.
I think
Plus, everybody would know about my channel, and that would just be a nightmare because they'd always be asking me how much I made, whatever.
I think it's a bit different in the school I went to, though, because the entire school was only, like, max 300 students. So
it was tight.
Yeah, kind of having a strong friendship group and being popular was, like...
Pretty easy.
Yeah, and it was kind of a big deal as well. Like, if you were an outcast out of 100 kids, it was a big problem, really.
Yeah. Whereas, you know, if you're outcast, like, and, you know, I don't know about your guys' school, Kyle and Don, but my school had, like, 8,000 kids.
Exactly.
How
do you even have popularity in that many students? Like, I don't understand it.
So it was broken down to, like, grades. So it'd be, like, 2,000 kids in a grade. And then there'd be, like, the popular kids in your grade.
Kids in a grade?
Dude, he's from Las Vegas.
My graduating
Jesus
class was
Christ.
1,700 people, I think.
Yeah.
So,
oh my
See,
God.
I think with that many students, it's almost impossible to have that kind of social construct because you can't even be aware of who everyone is. Whereas when I went to school, I literally knew the name of every single kid in my year. And so did everyone
that was
else.
like that for me in middle school and elementary school, but high school is a little bit different.
Mine was like...
I mean, I don't even think there's that many more people. It's just not like that.
I had like 3,000 kids in my school and maybe like, I think maybe 500 graduating. I don't know, something like that. It wasn't too
I think
big.
I have like 800 kids in my school, but I'm not sure.
There's 4,500 kids in my school.
All I'm saying is you guys have like a lot of chicks to choose from. Damn.
Not me.
Not Dominic.
Are the schools not that big over there?
No, in the UK, they're way smaller than the USA generally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just got
Like
small
how many
population,
kids?
haven't we?
Oh,
my
yeah, you guys
school
do.
my school was 300 kids.
Jesus.
So it's 100 kids per year.
What?
That was
That's tiny.
that was kind
years.
of like, I think that was kind of a small school, to be fair though. But no schools tended to go over about 1,000 kids max.
really?
That's like
I
average.
think
in
That's
America.
interesting.
That's like one of the problems with U.S. education is it's so packed and it's so crowded that
And
you
they
never
try to
feel
teach everybody
important.
everything. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
like-
Is that like
yeah.
they try to make everybody learn. I feel like school would have so much more success if they introduced some sort of specialized learning instead of just shoving everybody in a bunch of different like
mean-
And Fainted, did your teachers actually care if you learned the information? Like, did they like
yeah,
care?
they were so uptight at the school I went to.
See, not
Nope,
bro.
not
At the
here.
school, at my high school, like it was like, oh, you failed. That sucks.
I think
Like, they
that's
didn't
like you
care.
said, it's because there's so many kids. Why would they give a fuck?
Yeah.
Like it's impossible
Yeah,
to
well, you
kind
can't
of get
you
some
can't
kind of
care
connection
about every
with.
kid.
There were
10,000
some
children.
teachers. There were some teachers who helped you out, but most of them did not give a fuck, honestly.
There's always a couple teachers who are like actually cool and they're like, yo, if you fail, we can talk and I'll help you get your grade up and stuff. But there are
Because-
others who are just like, nope, you fail, that's it.
Most
Like,
of them just become a teacher for the benefits you get out of it.
You do not get a benefit.
Yeah,
for
dude,
being
there's no benefit
They
to
get
being a
paid.
teacher
The
in
retire-
the
No,
U.S.
think about
That's
it.
what
You
my
get
teachers
3
say.
months off. It's a guaranteed paycheck, and your retirement is fat.
Okay, but you have to deal with stupid kids all day and you get paid
Not if you
nothing.
don't care. That's the thing. In these schools in Las Vegas, bro, when you have 50 kids in a class and 6 classes a day, you have 300 students in a day, right? Well,
Yeah.
if you're in a decent neighborhood, statistically, enough of your kids are going to pass where you're not going to get fired.
That's
So
true.
there would be teachers that like everybody knew sucked ass and they just would never get fired because they were locked in. So like for people that don't want to really like for teachers I found are either incredibly passionate about being a good teacher or they don't care at all because they're just here to show up and get paid and go home and they don't care if you learn. That's not why they're here.
In my
Yeah.
school, it was
Dude,
kind of like if the teachers didn't get the grades for the kids, then they'd pretty much be in trouble. Like they'd lose their job if the class average was like terrible. So that was the reason they cared.
My
I
middle
think
school-
my old school was like that too. But dude, I think my like my English teacher, she literally hates my class. Like my specific like period, like fifth period English, she hates it because I have like every kid in my grade who one would classify as like annoying or like loud and obnoxious and just like that kind of person. You probably all know. You probably all had someone who was like that.
Class clowns.
Yeah.
Not even class clowns, just people who are just constantly obnoxious and screaming in class and just
Yeah.
being annoying. Right? So, I have like all of the kids in my grade. Somehow we just managed to fit them all into one class. And that's the class with her, right? And she's just like she has no idea how to like control the class. She just doesn't. It's just bad. So she'll be like, everybody quiet down, and then like everyone's just screaming over her. She doesn't know what she's doing. And then she always talks about how much she hates her ex-husband, and how and she works at a bar she works at a bar on the weekends, and she has to deal with all these like drunk guys during the middle of the day.
Bro. I feel
this
sorry
went from
for
like what this was like what was your least favorite part about school to my teacher's alcoholic ex-husband real quick.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm saying. She obviously does not see any benefits in teaching. She talks about how she wishes she could quit her job all the time.
Oh my god.
I always hate like the teachers that were a little too open in high school. Did you guys ever have those where like the teacher was just yeah, like you had that, but like I had this one teacher who would tell us about how he can't get a date. Like, and he would be like, do you guys have advice? And I'm like, dude, you're 45.
You're asking your students for dating advice?
Dude, they're all like,
what do you want us to
14,
tell you,
15-year-olds?
That literally
Exactly.
sounds like me if I was a teacher.
I never had a teacher like that.
Well, I just feel like it's something where like I really feel like most people I talk to, they had great teachers and they had terrible teachers, but there's not a lot of just like teachers.
They're always
Like-
either really nice or really bad.
Exactly. I had teachers that I either really connected with and like were good. Most of them sucked, but like they sucked. I can't remember a single teacher where I was like, they were the definition of okay, and I don't care, you know? Like,
Yeah.
most of my teachers sucked.
Well, I think it's hard when you spend every day with a certain person, even if it's just your teacher. I think it's hard to, at the end of the year, just feel like meh about them. Because you spent the whole year with them. So you're obviously gonna either be inclined to feel like, okay, this person was really cool, or man, I hated this teacher. Like,
She got to know
you're never
him.
just gonna end the year with spending every day with them just being like, meh. I feel like that's
Meh.
probably why.
Yeah.
You just got to know a
He's
lot
a
about
man,
them.
baby. Did you guys ever have a situation where someone, like a student in your school, had sex with one of the teachers?
Yes.
Not that I knew
My
of. No.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yes, I
spill.
did. So, well, this actually happened when I was an 8th grader, but she got caught when I was a freshman. So, like, it's the relationship
grader?
started the year before I got to high school. No. Like, he was a freshman when I was in 8th grade, and then they got caught when he was a year older than me. So they were like dating on the low for a year, and I guess
Oh,
one day
yeah.
they
Oh
went
my
to
God, that is
one
savage.
day they went to a park and were like making out in public,
Naughty.
and somebody saw and told the
Why would you
Very,
do that
very
in
naughty.
public
yeah,
at a park?
I don't. Well, they had been doing it for a year, so they probably just felt safe, you know. Like they were like, "Oh, no big deal. It doesn't matter. We won't get caught because obviously, you know, we're fine. We've been doing it for a year." She got caught. She got fired, and then the kid like transferred schools before anyone found out it was him. Like he had like left, and then when people found out it was him, because people were like, "Oh shit, he left right when she got fired." Someone asked him on Instagram, and he's like, "I declined to comment due to the public defense." Like he had like some lawyer's response for
Yikes.
Instagram messages.
Wait, whoa,
Yeah.
wait. It was a teacher and an 8th grader?
No, so he was a year older than me. So
Okay.
when they started dating, he was a freshman, and they got caught when he was a sophomore.
Isn't that still illegal? Like, did she get in trouble?
Yeah, no,
Dude,
that's
yes.
that's very illegal. She
Did
got
she go
fired.
to jail?
I don't know if she went to jail because I don't know if he pressed charges type of thing. Like I don't know how
Probably
that all
not. I
works.
mean,
Bro,
I
if
don't
that
think
was-
he would have.
If that was a guy teacher and like a fucking 8th grade girl or something, it would be a completely
I don't-
different story.
But I don't know how it works. I'm not an expert.
I'm pretty
on
sure in the UK it
teachers
doesn't
getting
matter
arrested.
whether somebody presses charges or not. Either way, you go down as a sex offender and you're banned from teaching
That's
for
how
your
it should
entire
be.
life.
That's
Yeah,
how it should be.
not that's probably is what happens. I don't know. That's what like maybe it's possible that she. I just once we kind of found. I didn't like at the time. I didn't really care if she got arrested. You know, I was just kind of like, oh, that's crazy.
You were just vibing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine being that kid and just you can say that for like the rest of your life. It's just like
Yeah. No, I guess from like what I've heard from people who know him still though, he doesn't talk about it. Like it's really embarrassing to him. I'd be bragging, bro. I'd be
I
like,
would
yo.
do.
Thing is,
That's
the harsh
insane.
reality of these situations is normally not actually a very attractive person. Like the dream of smashing your teacher.
No, she was hot.
Okay, my bad.
okay.
He should be flexing then. What's he doing?
He at least passed the class.
Sure he did.
I'm sure he did, yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know how that works. I don't know how all that works. But you know what does work that we need to talk about, man. Fainted. Do you like the Cybertruck?
Yes, absolutely love it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I like to hear.
What about the Cybertruck are you vibing with? Like, what about its aesthetic is appeasing to you?
So, I'm gonna be honest. Like, just being a bit of a Halo fan and seeing all the memes about it being represented as a warthog just made me think, yeah, that is a vibe. And
get it wrapped green.
Exactly.
Get a wrapped army green, bro.
I
Easy.
tweeted that out, bro. I said if this gets 10 likes, I'll buy a
And
Tesla
mount a minigun
Cybertruck.
on top.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I don't know if that'd be a good
Why
idea,
not?
but
Now he's in England. They can't wrap. They can't put miniguns on
yeah.
things. No.
But
yeah, it's
seriously,
America,
actually think-
bitch.
Yeah, I actually really like the raw gunmetal look. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I pre-ordered mine. I'm not gonna paint it. Like, I'm gonna keep that
Ooh,
color.
okay.
Because I
Honestly,
vibe with
I
it.
would.
Dude, I would just get it army green for the memes, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
The one
That's
thing
fair.
I'm worried about though is I don't want it to become like something where so many people have it. It's just not even interesting anymore.
No, it'll be interesting, but what's gonna happen? It's not gonna be interesting for long. Because I think Dom brought this up, and it's a good point. It takes like one car manufacturer to massively overhaul their design, and then everybody copies.
Yeah,
it,
I said this.
you know?
Like, this might be the
Yeah.
start of a new design to where we might actually get
Exactly.
futuristic looking cars.
Like, we might get cars that have sharp lines and are very boxy because that might be the style.
I mean,
you
you
know?
saw how this thing is selling. It's selling like
Yeah.
crazy. You really think other car companies aren't going to try the same thing?
And look at electric vehicles. When electric vehicles, this is a fad, no, it's not going to catch on, nobody's going to do it, and now everybody makes an electric car.
Oh
You
yeah.
know?
So I was saying
think
this to someone
this
the other
is the
day.
start.
I personally think it won't be long before countries start having huge tax burdens on people who are driving gas cars instead of electric
Yeah.
because it's bad for the environment.
Yeah, I
They-
think so.
I think they'll want
Which,
everyone
being
to
a
drive
car
electric.
guy is kind of sad because I mean, I love electric cars. I would drive a Tesla, no fucking doubt. But, bro, the sound of an exhaust
The sound
and all
of
that, dude.
the sound of like a strong muscle car when it's just.
like,
They'll-
Sexy.
it'll probably shift to like rich people do it.
Mm.
Like, rich people will still drive Ferraris, but like the average person won't be able to drive a gas car.
I'm sure they will start making electric cars with like a fake sound supposer to make it like
No,
sound like in a
I-
gasoline car.
Probably
but
not.
It won't be the
Because
same.
one of the appeals of these cars is that they're silent.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's one of the
people
ways
don't get
that
bothered. Like if it's traffic at night, like say you live in an apartment in Chicago in like a really busy road, and you're trying to sleep, and it's just meh, 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 outside, and like with like if they get the silent cars, then it's just gonna be
But I'm
The one
sure-
thing that does make me nervous about the Cybertruck, though, is that what they unveiled is like a concept car. They don't actually know if they can build the truck. Because I guess what they did for the displays is they put a Model X chassis underneath and like put the body on. So they don't really know if the Cybertruck, as they displayed it,
what
is
are they gonna do
possible
for all the
yet.
people that ordered it?
They could refund the $100 deposit.
The only thing that they need to fix is the back end. That's the only thing I don't like about it.
Yeah, the back end needs to be lower. Like the tailgate needs to be smaller. and
It's
it
not
would look
even
pretty
that.
clean.
It just I don't like how it's completely boxed. I wish it had at least
Really.
one curve. Like, I don't know. It's too flat
It
for
would
me.
throw off the design of the car if they had one curve.
Not
Yeah.
really.
I think
Yeah,
so.
the whole car is just angles. There's no curves there. If they had one curve, it would just look weird.
It's just really flat.
No, but so what? I don't even really understand what haters of the Cybertruck say. Has anyone paid any
They say
attention
it's
to what
ugly.
people-
No.
They say it's ugly.
I mean, I can understand where it's coming from in terms of ugliness. Like, I can get it, but I think most cars are pretty ugly.
Dude, I just think they're hating because it's different and it's new and people don't like change.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
personally not a
Don't
truck
know.
guy, but I fuck with the Cybertruck.
I'm not either. But,
Yeah,
and
Fainted,
I like
you
it
guys
because
don't
it
even
doesn't
drive
look like a
trucks,
truck.
huh? Are trucks common in the UK, Fainted, at all?
No, you guys have
I'd
diesel,
say they're
don't
pretty
you?
rare, to be honest. Pretty rare.
Like-
People either
Well,
drive
trucks, I
around
feel
in like vans or just normal kind of.
So
Like
you
diesel
would get
hatchbacks,
some looks
right?
you would
Yeah.
get looks for being in a Cybertruck.
Oh,
huh?
if you drive
Like,
one
people-
of those in the UK, yeah, you'd get looks.
I think that
Like,
just because
tons.
trucks have a lot more to do with like, I guess farming sort of stuff. I mean, obviously there's a lot of
American
people.
stuff,
Yeah, like
home
a
improvement.
like there's
all
no
that
farmland
stuff,
in the UK, so a lot of less people are gonna have trucks.
There actually is a lot of farmland in like the countryside,
Yeah.
but people just ride
Well,
around
but
in like
I'm
fat
sure-
tractors.
Yeah, and I'm sure you see trucks up there. every now and then. But like when you're in London, you probably don't have a need for a truck.
You'll barely ever see a truck in London unless it's like a tow truck.
I mean, now that I think about it, you won't really see a truck in like Chicago or New York either.
Exactly.
Like downtown.
Exactly. I just think it's very American. But is Tesla big over there too, Fainted? Or is it still kind of small?
It's low-key, bro. Very low-key.
So not a lot of people?
Yeah, it's still kind of like it's a bit of a flex, a bit of a cool thing. Like if you're spotted in a Tesla, people will probably look.
I guess in Norway, they're so common that when I told Ben that I wanted a Tesla, he like made fun of me. He's like, "You want that? Everybody has that." And I was like, "What? Everybody has Teslas in Norway?"
That's kind of weird.
Come to find
I wouldn't
out,
expect
no.
that.
I mean,
But I looked it up, and they like the government has a program where if you buy a Tesla, like if you drive a Tesla, you get a tax break or something like that.
I mean,
So
probably
like
for just
there's
help
a
the
lot of
environment.
Teslas.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
that's what we were saying about earlier.
I went to Bel Air, like in LA for VidCon, just like to check it out for the day. I was just driving through those Bel Air neighborhoods.
There's tons.
It's insane how many Teslas there
tons.
are. There is
Yeah.
so many.
Yeah, there's
like
a lot
every
of
other car
Teslas in
down there is a
California.
Tesla. Yeah.
One of their main plants is in Nevada, so like there's tons here too.
Oh yeah,
And so
isn't that where
people
the
be like, "Oh, look, I
Giga
saw a
plant is?"
Tesla." Yeah,
whatever.
they'll be like, "Oh, look, I saw a Tesla." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And like they're not incredibly rare here anymore either, but I'm sure in the middle of Ohio they're pretty rare.
Yeah, they are. The only people that have them here are like lawyers or doctors or like.
I mean, there's Model
Really
3s
good
now,
people.
and you see those everywhere, like the more economy style.
I don't.
The Model X one is like really rare because it's expensive.
Yeah, the Model X, Model S, you don't really see those very often.
You see like the old ones that are like going down in prices more.
So wait, Fainted, is UK like Germany where you guys like all drive hatchbacks? Like sedans don't exist?
Honestly, I need to look up what a sedan is because I don't understand.
4-door. It's a 4-door car. It's like a car.
A sedan looks like a car. A hatchback looks like a minivan.
I know Fainted drives.
Nah,
a
there's a lot of
sedan.
sedans around here, bro.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Fainted drives a sedan.
Oh yes, I do.
Because Germany, when I went to Germany, like every car we have here, over in Germany, it's just like a hatchback style of that car. There was like no sedans over there. It's really weird. Yeah.
What the heck?
I didn't.
That's
Even, so
odd.
there's just hatchback styles of like every car.
Yeah, they just drive hatchbacks over there. You
Interesting.
rarely see sedans.
Why do you think?
That's really weird
I
because I
don't
thought
know.
Germany was like the manufacturer of BMW and Audi and shit.
Yeah, the BMWs and everything. They're all hatchbacks too. Like Mercedes.
Volkswagen.
Yeah,
Huh, very
Volkswagen.
interesting. So if like the car of the future is the Cybertruck, right? What predictions do you guys have for the next decade
Flying
that
cars.
you think are what I know
no.
flying cars
No.
are not gonna. What are your
Nope.
predictions for the next decade? Everybody go and name
mean-
like 3 things you think are gonna change.
Okay.
So not exclusive to cars, just literally anything.
Yeah, anything.
Okay.
Well, I
Definitely.
guess Fainted, you can go first.
Yeah, I think probably 90% of transportation will be turning towards much more environmentally friendly, such as electric cars. Secondly, I think humans will probably start having sex with robots in like VR and shit.
That's already happening.
Happening.
Oh
Yeah.
god. But like on a more of a mainstream and popular scale. And I also think that kind of YouTube, Twitch, all this kind of gaming shit is going to take over even more.
For sure. Yeah.
Alright,
Online
here's
entertainment
what
is
I
going
think.
to just dominate.
I think that esports are going to become super mainstream in the next decade. I think that I agree with Fainted with the electric cars, environmentally friendly like transportation. Not just cars, but like anything when it comes to transportation, they're going to be going for a much more environmentally friendly route.
Yeah.
I also think that robots are going to start to take over more people's jobs that can like be performed, like jobs that can be performed simply, like stuff that doesn't require a lot of like certain skill in like one area, whether that be mental or physical. I feel like jobs might take that over. For example, factory work, like there might not be just people just working in factories doing certain things. Factories will be 100% like run by robots.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm not
pretty
saying like,
much
oh,
already
doctors are
are.
going to become robots, you know, but I'm talking about like very simple jobs. They're going to be overrun in the next decade.
Like fast food.
I think. Yeah. I think that I think we're gonna see like cash become basically obsolete over the next decade. Like I think now you really don't carry cash for anything, right?
I don't.
Really, for the most part, like cash is already disappearing, and I think the more we switch to cards and Apple Pay, and especially with our phones and like everything like that, I wouldn't be surprised if cash becomes basically obsolete. Like people really don't use it for anything anymore, just because I think that it's so easy now to use credit cards for everything, and like that technology is just going to get better and better and better, and we're just going to use money less and less. I also think that we're going to see a new shift away from like technology in terms of, you know, Google and Facebook, and I think we're going to see a lot more like smart home stuff.
I agree.
'Cause I think they've already done a ton of like, everybody has an iPad, everybody has an iPhone, and I think we're already starting to see it in small ways, like lights, like Dom's lights he can control from his phone. But I think the next decade
or
we're
like
going to
Alexa
see a
or Google
ton.
Home.
We're going to see like everything mainstream being controlled from your phone, like your heating, your air conditioning. They already have some.
can
that
already
do
do
it.
that
pretty
stuff,
much
like
already.
Alexa.
No,
thing.
No, I know, but it's not like mainstream.
Right.
Like people
yeah.
with smart homes are not incredibly common.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
you
let's
know,
watch
and I
this
think, like,
podcast back in 2030 and see. If
Yeah,
we're
in
right.
2030 we'll see. But I'm telling you, I think disappearing money, and I think technology is going to become even more of a necessity than it already is. Like I think living off grid is going to be basically impossible in 10 years.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know why you'd even want to do that.
No, I agree, but I'm telling like it's going to be everything is controlled by technology.
Dude, I feel like our
Self-driving
phones
cars, your
in the
house, your
future.
car.
I feel like our phones in the future are gonna be like they're gonna control our cars. Like you go into your car and your phone is gonna be your dashboard. Pretty much is what
Yeah.
I'm
I
saying.
mean,
Yeah, that's what I think we're going to start moving to. And
Like
I
there's
think,
already there's another company like Tesla that's already trying to push into this. They made this like supercar, and you attach your phone to the steering wheel, and it basically is what's running your car. That's the dashboard where you get all your information and everything. So,
Okay, but I also think that, don't you think that phones might turn into, like, okay, this isn't even like a prediction for the next like 10 years, right? This is just do you guys think that phones are ever just gonna be? Because I almost think that having some like slab of metal in your pocket is kind of impractical in some situations.
what I think it should be,
Fuck,
this
I don't
is
have to pull
ideal.
out my
I don't
phone,
think this
like,
technology
doing that.
will
I can just
exist
see,
in
like,
10 years,
oh,
but it
Ryan
would be
texted you,
cool.
boom, it comes down right in front of my
Imagine like
face.
if they found a way
that's
to
something
make
you can
something
do
hover,
with, like, these glasses
right?
they're making.
And it
I
had
don't
like
even think
four
it's like
corners. No,
beautiful
hear me out.
stuff.
Like a
I
magnetic.
feel like that's gonna
and you could
happen.
spread it to whatever
Kyle, what are
size
your-
you
what are
wanted
your
and shrink it to
predictions for
whatever
next
size you
decade?
wanted.
Or-
As long as you
dude,
have the
I
four
believe
corners.
like
you could,
electric
like,
cars are
make
cool
it
and
so,
stuff. But
take
I believe,
your
I mean, it's already
information,
happened.
Take all,
But
like,
I think
your
they're gonna try,
information
like,
or,
pushing
social
cars
media
to
on
be ran off
Twitter
of
and
water.
just, like, all this
It's
stuff.
possible
Put it
because
in
it's
a
already
chip,
been
put it
done.
in
But
interface,
apparently the
and,
guy
like,
was
water's
killed by
gonna
the
back or
government, like
something.
killed him
So
off
now
or
you can, like,
something
have your
because
phone
that
basically
would
in your mind.
completely hurt gasoline
I
mean,
companies.
I
They're
feel
trying to
like
do that with
water
like
is a
fucking
lot
ships and
more
stuff, and I
unlikely
feel like
than
that could become
electricity.
something in the future.
electricity.
Bro.
Because water is already in short supply. We're already ruining our oceans and
What do you
lakes
mean,
and
dude?
stuff.
Global warming. The sea is rising. If it was water, it'd be a lot
Yeah,
better.
but they're trashed. You know, basically what I'm trying to say is electricity right now is a lot more accessible to us than water. Water is just more impractical. You could just sit and charge your battery.
Bro, okay, what if you're like in the middle of the country and like there's no place to charge your car, but there's water everywhere? You'd
Water
be fine.
everywhere in the middle of the country.
Yeah, go to a lake, fill your car up.
Yo, have you ever driven through Nevada?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. But
No,
that's
I don't know.
that's-
Yeah, well, give us another prediction outside of water.
I don't
cars.
have any other I don't have any
So
other
wait,
Just
prediction.
water cars. Just water cars.
bro. Just water cars.
What's burning in your mind, Suey?
Okay, so I'm thinking like the whole subway, like train systems, something's gonna happen with that. So like traveling long distances and stuff will be easier. You know, like the thing Elon Musk is doing with the trains and stuff from LA to New York and all that shit. And I think fucking advanced so much. Like you're gonna be
Oh, yeah,
able to
VR
like,
I
be
almost feel
inside
like
of it and stuff.
VR in its current state is a kind of a fad. Like just the massive like screens that you just attach to your forehead. Like that's just so like, and you got all these wires you got to hook up and all that. Like they have to simplify it for it to really be successful.
But they're changing fast, and I feel like VR will take over in the future.
I mean, I feel like eventually, yeah, but it can't take over in its current state. It's just too.
No.
It's too expensive. There's not enough things you can do with it yet. There's just like
It's too clunky. I want to sit on the couch. I don't want to stand up in a like treadmill.
Right. Yeah, they have some things to work out, but I do feel like if they got that sorted, it would.
I say 𝗀𝗃𝗏 is 100% right. I think YouTube and just digital online media in general is going to be #1 at the end of next decade, guaranteed. Like right now, TV kind of is still clinging on to the fact that they think they're bigger than us, but I think it's going to be undeniable
TV's gonna die off
10 years that like YouTube is the place people get their content.
Just think about it. The people who use TV still nowadays is like our parents, like people above, like who were here before us. I don't think anyone in
Like,
our
who watches
age
cable
actually
anymore?
watches
Well,
cable.
and-
Nobody.
At the end of this decade, most of us are probably gonna have like a kid or be like married. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna be like old.
Oh no.
At the
Yeah.
end of this decade, how old will I be?
You'll be
Yeah, in a
26.
decade, me and Ryan will be
20,
30, so most likely.
Yikes. With,
That's kind of that's
online
scary to
video
think about. I
services,
don't even
though,
want to think about
That's
that.
only a decade. We're gonna be so much farther along in our lives in one decade.
What
Bro.
you say,
no.
𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗏?
With online video services, though, what I think's pretty cool is the fact that with YouTube and Twitch and stuff, they have algorithms that can serve you content that they know you want to see
exactly.
from your data. Whereas TV, it's just select shit programs that you choose yourself from your remote. Whereas with YouTube, they slap on the front of your screen and they say, bro, we know you better than you know yourself. You're going to click on this.
Yeah.
You do have a
And
point,
no.
yeah.
That's why it's going to take over.
See, I don't think TV has too much longer. Like once, I give it maybe like 2 more decades, and it's
No,
Dude,
it'll
love seeing
last.
I love seeing people who complain about YouTube videos like having a lot of ads when they literally see,
compared to
TV is like literally you watch 5 minutes, you get 10 ads. You watch
Well-
another 5 minutes, you get 10 more ads. It's
You
like,
know,
3
and,
minutes
and just to
commercial.
clarify for everybody that says that, I would put one ad on my video if I got TV CPMs. I just don't.
yeah.
You know,
Facts.
YouTubers
YouTube
are out
doesn't like
here.
paying us.
Yeah, sorry, I make maybe $6 every 1,000 views, whereas on television they're making $6,000 every 1,000 views. Like it's not even comparable how much more money TV makes.
Is it actually proven that TV makes a lot, like that much more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because advertisers are run by a bunch of boomers and they all advertise on TV and put all their money into cable and stuff like that. When
I am
YouTube is a much
100%
bigger network anyway.
Well, I guess
here's a
being on TV
conspiracy
is
theory.
more prestigious, quote unquote. I guess.
Yeah.
It's
I have a
old-fashioned.
conspiracy theory.
What's your conspiracy?
This is an advertising conspiracy theory that I genuinely think this is what happened, and let me explain because it makes a lot of sense. I think the first adpocalypse was 100% not actually companies being mad, but they tactically were outraged at YouTube and left so YouTube would be forced to lower ad prices so they could buy more. Because I'm like, okay, whenever there's a bombing, whenever there's a terrorism attack on the news, Coca-Cola has no problem slapping their logo next to that every single time. A YouTuber says the N-word, and they're like, oh, the entire platform is ruined. We can't put any ads on any video because you have one bad guy saying bad words and they all
Yeah.
leave. And when they all leave, you have to lower prices because you have to fill the ad slots. Well, and after 6 months of them leaving, the ad slots were 80% cheaper.
It was like back in 2016.
What?
What's the CPMs like?
So the CPMs, from what I've heard, are about the same of where we're at now. So it took us 3 years to get back to where we were. Okay, well,
Shit.
imagine what would have happened if the adpocalypse never happened. We would be at TV ad rates right now. So I'm pretty sure that these companies caused the adpocalypse on purpose. And isn't it weird? Every time there's a scandal, all the mainstream media pushes it as hard as they can to try to get people outraged. So
It's
companies
almost like
leave.
these companies look at YouTube like a laughing stock. They're like, they don't take it seriously. They're like,
Yeah.
we can just manipulate this like crazy and just buy in a bunch of
and it works because if you don't advertise, they have to lower the price.
Right.
Like I'm serious when I say I genuinely think that these companies did it on purpose. And I wouldn't to further my conspiracy theory. I think 𝗏𝗏 is definitely the old media and boomers trying to find a way to slow down YouTube. I think it's like they're trying to make it slow down because we are destroying traditional media. Like it's not even, and it makes sense for these boomers to try to destroy it because they don't get it and they can't compete. Like
Why
go look
not
at Fox
just-
News's YouTube channel.
Just adapt to it. Get with the subject.
because the boomers
Kyle,
hate change. Everyone's hated
Yeah.
change for years.
Everybody hates change, and they're never. Even if you put a team of boomers in a room and said, you guys are all going to research the YouTube algorithm every day, all 5 of you for 8 hours a day. So you're getting 40 hours of work done trying to understand YouTube a day, right? You will still never have the knowledge of me, Dom, and Fainted, who just grew up with it and understand it on a deeper level.
Right.
Even if you researched it all day, you can't compete. So
Well, yeah,
they
because
really
they don't have
can't
the
adapt.
experience of actually doing it and noticing the
Exactly.
change.
They can't adapt. They don't know how. Like they don't. It's too new. It's too different.
It's kind of
So
like
they
when you
destroy
put a
it.
phone in the hands of an old person and they literally just cannot fathom it.
They just
It's-
malfunction. It's like
Whereas
they
you give it to a
short-circuit.
fucking 6-year-old and they'll find it easy.
Dude,
So, but I think I'm like I don't know if you guys think I'm crazy, but I think
No,
companies
I
purposely
completely-
try to tank ad prices.
I believe
with
it.
you on
I
that.
believe it.
they're stuck
I
in the
believe
past and they don't like. They're afraid to move on.
Dude, it's funny because they literally, like, every generation there's something like that where, like, something comes along, everybody thinks it's bad, no one wants to change, no one thinks, like, everyone thinks it's going to hurt the world, hurt the culture, hurt whatever. And then it ends up actually benefiting it. But nobody adapts to it, and then it's until those people die off is when it finally changes. Like, for example, when, like, rock music, like, when all parents were, teenagers, kids, rock music was getting popular, and all of their parents who are like either now clinging to life or dead, like, they hated on rock music because they said it was a bad influence, but it's turned out to be one of the most, respected genres in music today. So it's just kind of like, and there's stuff like that. And now those
rap is a
people
good
who listen to
example,
rock
like-
music are like, well, right.
Rap
I mean,
is
I'm
like a
just
huge
using
part of
music as
our
an
lives,
example.
but like parents, like they don't fuck with rap because it's
Some
like
do.
you said, it's a bad influence on kids apparently. Which I completely agree. I do agree at an extent because there's some.
I think that music has just
bad-
gotten a lot more vulgar in these past couple
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely. That's what I'm trying to say.
You listen to a song from 60 years ago and you listen to a song from now and you're like, there's no way. Like, dude,
Yeah.
people don't hold back anymore. Your rappers do not have filters.
No, you don't.
I think
Yeah.
that's why they think because they're like, I could listen to an AC/DC song and not have as many cuss words as the new Lil Pump song. It's like,
It's not even really.
Yeah, but I
was that?
think it's also just this is the first. Me, Fainted, Kyle, you, Suey, like we're really the first generation that kind of grew up with the internet.
we are.
I don't. Before us, like I don't know if Fainted, if you have like an older cousin, like they don't get it. Like we are the first generation
Yeah.
that gets it, and like was really raised by it. I started watching YouTube when I was 7.
Yep.
Like, and that's still not as young as Dom and Suey, but I was still pretty young when this became a part of my life.
well, it
So,
didn't
like,
come out
I
till
get it.
2005, so we were 7 years old.
Yeah. Well, exactly, but like I've been molded by YouTube. I get YouTube. I've watched the internet. I've been on the internet. I've been on Facebook. I've been on Instagram. I've been on Twitter. I understand the internet. But like even if you were 2 years older than me and Kyle and you started getting involved in the internet when you were 10, it's not the same amount of like integration. These kids who were 15 when Facebook came out don't get it. They don't get it because they're too old. And I think like the fact that they don't get it scares them and makes them want to destroy it instead of trying to adapt to it because they don't understand.
Because they
I'm
want to be
so-
comfortable with the things that they know.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I was born when I was born. Like I wouldn't want to be born in any other time, dude.
I want to be born. I wish I was born later.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Dude, like
Like, how
Ryan
much
just said,
later?
like
Why?
I don't know. I don't know how much later. I just feel like there's gonna be I feel like we're at the beginning of a new age in everything.
We are.
And I feel like if we just waited like a little bit longer, we could be at the peak of it, and it could just be amazing.
Nah, dude, being there at the start is better than being at the peak. Like starting at the peak.
I
In
can
my
definitely see
opinion.
where you're coming from there, but I for me at least, like I want to be there when that stuff is full swing rather than just when it's just being invented.
No, but I don't think you understand that. You are going to be there when it full swings.
Yeah.
You'll be in your prime when it swings. What I try to say to like old people that ask me what I'm doing, I basically tell them I bought a TV station, but it's only like 1946. You know? Like
Yeah,
TV
it helps
stations
them
were still
understand it.
relevant, but like not a lot of people watch TV. Do you want to get into TV in the 60s when it popped off and was in every American home? Or do you want to have owned it since 1940 and now you get the rewards of it popping off? You
Yeah,
know
like
what I
get
mean?
there early and then you get everything in the end. Like you're already on top, so you get most of it. Like,
You know? Like think
Yeah.
about, it's the same thing with SoundCloud. Those first group of SoundCloud rappers that popped off, Lil Pump, Lil Yachty, all those guys, they got it made. They're set. How much harder is it to blow up now on SoundCloud with every fucking teenage boy posting on it compared to when it was just 10 people?
because they realize everyone else is blowing up of it, up off of it. And
So
now
I think it's better to
they're all
get to the
doing
party early.
It's like trends. If you want to like make a
Yeah.
commentary video and trying to like blow up from it, you just gotta make it early before anybody else does it.
I guess I wasn't even really talking about in terms of blowing up or social media.
I know what you
or-
mean. You
or
want to
s-
be there for like the technology.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Like, technology in the
Like-
future is gonna be insane. I hope we don't miss out on a lot of it.
What I'm saying is like the Cybertruck this is like a new, like this whole thing, this is a new era. I can feel it. This is the beginning of like a new thing. I want to be there when all the cars on the road, like I want to be in my prime. I want like when all the cars on the road are electric and we got
Dude, you will be
really
though.
cool VR and like all that kind of stuff.
Dom,
You wanna
you're only
consider-
16 years old.
Bro, look,
I don't know how fast that thing is gonna progress. I might be dead by the time that's in full swing.
no chance, mate. I'm looking at right now the iPhone 1 release date, 2007. It's been 12 years since the first iPhone, and now look at the iPhone 11 Pro.
Yeah,
Look
the
at that
more
difference in 12
technology, like
years.
And I feel like the more technology, the faster it gets.
No,
the
that's
more
a proven
technology
thing.
that it like evolves, the faster it's gonna go. Like,
Okay, well,
It's just gonna
think about
speed
it this
up.
way. Look at 1960 to 1990, right? Now look at 1990 to today. That is the same amount of time between each of those dates. And look at how much faster things changed between 1990 and now compared to 1960 and then.
Dude,
Yeah,
look at like
and it's
early
only gonna
video
get
games.
faster.
It's going to get faster, exactly. In 1990, we were like, look at this thing called fax machines. And now we're like, everybody literally communicates at the speed of light. The entire world is interconnected by a net of interaction. We all talk to each other. We all have interactions. We've, gotten to the highest peak of entertainment. We can do research faster than ever. We have AI. We have all these incredible things. And 30 years ago, we had fax machines. 100 years ago, we didn't even have, vaccines. So in 100 years, things are going to be unreal.
And
I'm just saying, 100 years ago, people's life expectancy was 65.
Now it's
Now,
now
living
it's
to
like 79,
100,
I think.
yeah.
Okay.
But think about living to 100 isn't impossible.
the
No.
thing is, our kids are gonna be born into this era, so they're gonna be like adapting to it fast. So it's gonna evolve even faster because they were born straight into it. If that makes sense.
True. Yeah, I go what you mean.
It's kind of like a domino effect.
You know what
really.
I mean?
Yeah, it is. It's like a YouTube channel. The more views you get, the more subs you get. Sure, it might not look as fast, but I guarantee you I do better now than I did a year ago. It just doesn't feel like it all the time. Like, the bigger your channel, the faster you grow regardless. It's the same concept, but with
true.
technology.
Yeah, you guys are right.
I don't think
Yeah.
you need to worry, Dom. You still got like 70 years, bro.
Bro, I think I'm just way too obsessed with cyberpunk. And I
Yeah.
just
You are.
I just want to live in that world.
I mean,
And I'm like, I don't want to miss it, bro. I don't want to be dead when that's all happening.
You're way too fucking young to even worry about it.
they're making these things like these glasses that when you put them on, like you see a whole alternate reality with it. through the glasses.
Well, that's called AR.
That's that
augmented
was.
reality.
Are you
AR,
talking
that's
about
what
like
it's
that
called.
like Google? There was a Google Glass. I think
Google
that's what
Glass.
it's called.
Never
Dude, those
happened.
things flopped. No, they had like, dude, they just tanked and they just died. They were just, yeah, they didn't get them right.
So, to wrap up, last question, and then we'll stop. It's about the future decade. Okay, what is your biggest fear? Like, what are you afraid is going to happen in the
War.
next 10 years?
War. Like another world war.
I don't know.
Nuclear war.
Nuclear war. Don, you got anything?
I don't think that war is as big of a problem. I feel
Dude,
like.
if
Dude,
another
have you
one
seen the
happens, we're
message?
fucked.
Have you seen the
I know
message
that's
North
what I'm
Korea sent
saying,
the
and
US?
everybody realizes that. That's not. I don't really know too much about politics and war and all that to really be that judge on that kind of thing. But one thing I'm worried about is probably just. Dude, honestly, I'm a lot more excited for the future than I am worried.
If it
robots.
wasn't war, I think my other one is probably like robots.
Yep.
like,
Robots
taking
can take
over.
over.
Robots are pretty scary. Fainted, what's your biggest fear
I
for
am.
next 10 years?
Just like a rapid development of AI that pretty much ends up with us getting fucked.
Yeah.
Okay, I do think that we have to be careful with how smart we make our robots.
Dude.
Oh, dude.
Look at
We have to-
Japan, bro.
We have to
They're-
make sure that they can't learn too quick on their own.
Have you seen the
But that's
Sophia
what they're
bot?
trying to do.
Yeah.
That's
the
what I'm saying.
thing.
They have to realize that they can't push that kind of thing too far. Otherwise, they're gonna outlearn us, and then they're gonna wipe us out.
But think about it. If they make robots that way, like, it's gonna be like amazing and cool and stuff. But it's gonna be cool and amazing until like they do something crazy and fuck us.
Dude, what happens when the robots realize that we're all just using them to do our work for us?
We're
And
fucked.
they're like, oh yeah, wait, we were getting used. Let's just like overthrow these people so we don't have to be under their command anymore.
Let's just kill all of them real quick.
Is nobody worried about global warming then?
I'm not.
Not anytime soon.
No,
I feel like.
I'm worried about it, but I think it's like one of those things where it's cool to be like, oh, we're all gonna die in 10 years right now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm worried about it, but at the same time, I am not burning down the Amazon rainforest, so I guess I'm not really like
Is it
what
still
I can't really
burning?
do any. No, but like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I can't do anything about global warming. You know?
Yeah, and they're always like, you can make a
Warming.
difference. No, I can't.
can't.
Well, no, this is something interesting. Like the global warming, you know how they always try to blame like the UK and the United States?
Yeah.
I think the United States and the UK are like 20% of all carbon, which is a ton. Don't get me wrong, but like, okay, even if we stopped producing all of our
Like
carbon
India
tomorrow,
and China.
there's another 80% that's still going to keep going. Like
But
I don't
I think
know.
that 20% is pretty significant. That's a whole fifth.
No, absolutely, that's a fifth. But what I'm saying is, even if you slow it down by 20%, it's still coming. Like even if you slow it down, you're still
Yeah.
screwed. So if we're screwed, then we're screwed, and I'm just gonna ride the roller coaster till it's done.
Actually, I'm not even gonna lie. My biggest fear with how unlikely it is a fucking meteor, dude. Like an asteroid.
Ooh.
And in the
Those, that's what I'm afraid of, bro. Like every time one of those things like come out, like saying, "Oh, there's an asteroid that's about to hit Earth" or something, dude, I freak out. I
think
don't
that-
know
I
what
think
it
that-
is.
I think that NASA and space administrations have the means of getting those things taken care of. I don't. Think
But
we
if
have to
they're
worry
too
about that.
big, that's what I'm worried about.
Well, if the bigger they are, the easier they are to see coming, and the more time you have to prepare.
Sometimes I don't see him coming until like it's like way too close.
I don't know. I feel like that. I mean, for a massive rock, the chances of a massive rock coming right for a crash course with Earth, that's a very small chance. Obviously, it can happen.
It's really
it's
small for it to
possible.
happen in our lifetime, but it's gonna happen.
I mean, I'm more
I mean,
worried
the
about the
chances of it
Yellowstone.
If time goes on for forever, then it's inevitable that it'll happen eventually. But it's just the chances of it happening within our lifetime is small.
Oh, and Yellowstone. I guess I got a lot of worries, bro. I guess I got a lot of worries.
Yellowstone is scary,
Yeah,
dude. Because you know that if
Yellowstone got me
Yellowstone
sketched.
erupts, it'll cloud the Earth will literally go into another ice age.
Is it
because
just the U.S. or
No,
No,
like
the whole Earth.
half the world.
holy
Dude,
fuck?
it'll go into another ice age because the smoke will block out the sun. But I think we should actually wrap it up here, though.
Yeah.
So
It's been
it was
over an
it
hour.
was an interesting episode for sure.
Very
But,
scary.
Very scary. We talked about, the future, bro. I just think the future is so exciting and so scary at the same time. It's just the fear of the unknown, you know? But,
That's not.
anyway.
That's what I don't like.
With that being said, everyone, thank you so much for watching till the end of this podcast. If you did, be sure to check out 𝗀𝗙. His link will be in the description. And if you want to, drop a sub and follow us over on Twitter. We post stupid tweets, and we also promote our podcast and just give updates and stuff over there. You can join our Discord server if you want to talk to fellow Skuffed fanatics. And with that being said, everyone, thank you so much for watching another episode of the SkuffedCast, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.